All right, we are here for part 6 of the 10-part series on how to write, publish, and launch a nonfiction book that will blow up your business and make a massive impact in the process. Today in part 6 is all about how to create the perfect title and the perfect subtitle for your nonfiction book. Let's dig in here. So let's just start off by addressing something very, very clear. If your title sucks, if your subtitle sucks, it's going to be very hard to get readers interested or get readers ready to buy. And so our goal, if we're trying to create a successful book, is to create clarity and intrigue at the same time. We want people to get excited. We want people's curiosity to be piqued, but we also want people to know what to expect by picking up your book. Okay? And so for some people, this title, subtitle process, for some people, it's so easy. It's like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I have. Whether they already have a program about it, whether they've just known the title intuitively for a long time. And it's super easy. And for other people, this can take a little bit longer and they have to wait till the rough draft is complete and then the juices start to flow because now they have their whole book done. It doesn't matter where you're starting or where you are, if you've always had the right title or subtitle or you need to figure it out. This video is going to help you identify exactly what your title and subtitle should be. Now, my name is Jake Kelfer. I'm a 4-time best-selling author, and I've turned my books into multiple successful businesses in the book space, in the publishing space, in the speaking space, in the coaching space, and several other outside avenues. My latest book is called Big Idea to Bestseller, and I run a company called Big Idea to Bestseller, which is a full-service book publishing company, primarily focusing on helping entrepreneurs and executives write, publish, and launch nonfiction books. We've worked with hundreds of authors around the world, and I wrote my last book in less than an hour a day, and it became a bestseller that sold thousands of copies and generated millions of dollars in revenue. So let's talk about picking the right title and subtitle and why it's so vital to creating a book that actually sells. Now, I'm just going to say this. If you don't care about your book's back-end success or if it translates to speaking gigs or credibility or other opportunities, that's fine. Pick whatever title, subtitle you want. But if you're looking to have this book be a strategic avenue in your marketing plan, then I would really encourage you to focus on this and start to think about, okay, this is how I should structure my title. This is how I should structure my subtitle. So let's get into it. Now, when you're focusing on a title, you want to focus on what it can do for the reader. So here's some best practices, okay? Be obvious and straight to the point, okay? Elevate your network. It's very clear that we're going to elevate, which is a word that most people know, and network. Now, network can mean a few different things, but when you combine that with the subtitle, it's very clear. Elevate your network. Make it memorable, okay? Make it easy for people to remember, easy for people to understand. Create intrigue. Focus on the main takeaway. Fancy isn't always better. These are really important things to know. Don't try to get so creative that you lose sight on the messaging. Don't try to think of only something that you think is cool because then it won't connect with the readers. Remember, this book, while yes, you're the one doing it and it's about your dream and it's about your book, if you don't write it with the reader in mind, it's not going to get the success and the recognition that it deserves. So these are some of the best practices. Now, let's talk about this. What are some of the questions that you should be asking yourself when picking a title? Well, what type of brand do you have or do you want to have? Do you want to be funny? Do you want to be professional? Do you want to be corporate? This could impact the style of the title that you use. If you want to be more of a humorous person, then maybe you'll create more of a pun. Maybe you'll create something that's a little less quote unquote professional. Maybe you're someone who wants to have a very direct brand, and so your book will be directly what it is about. Maybe you're somebody who wants to have a brand that emulates power. Well, maybe you're going to choose words that resemble that boldness, that power. So that can help you as you're starting to think about it. Do you want your title to be an extension of an existing business? So Big Idea to Bestseller. That is part of the business. And I wanted them to be cohesive. So do you want to use something that you're already doing, that you're already selling, that you're already making money for? Let's keep going here. Let me keep going. Let me give you a couple different ideas here. So do you want to use the same name of your business? Do you want the title to spark a new business? So a lot of people write books, whether maybe they're leaving the corporate world to go then be a consultant. And their expertise is translating, but maybe it's time for them to start a new brand. And this book title can be the start of that new brand or business. Is there a phrase that you always use? sometimes this can be really, really great, especially if people know you by that phrase. Okay, but you don't want to make it too confusing because then people won't associate the book, if they've never heard of you, they won't associate the book with what it's actually going to teach them. Do you want to leave room for a series or for multiple books? So here are a couple books that we've helped create. Enjoy the Grind. Well, you could have that be the Enjoy series. Enjoy the Hustle. Enjoy the Grind Sales Edition. Enjoy your morning. Right? You could start to use keywords there. The Empowered Athlete, the Empowered Entrepreneur, the Empowered Doctor. That could become a series. Okay? The Communicator's Playbook. Well, it could be the Playbook Sales Edition. It could be the Playbook Finance Edition. It could be the Playbook Corporate Edition. You can use these things to do and create series. So you got to keep that in mind with your titles. All right? Do you want to create a title that allows you to be known for a word? So my first 3 books were Elevate Beyond, Elevate Your Network, and The Elevated Entrepreneur. And what was really interesting about this is I was the Elevate guy. So people said, oh, you're the Elevate guy, right? Simon Sinek, Start With Why. Everyone knows him as the Why guy, the Start With Why guy, okay? Let's keep going here. Here's some examples. So you have Big Idea to Bestseller. This is a title, okay, it's 4 words. It's Big Idea to Bestseller. This is a destination type of title. From X to Y. The 4-Hour Work Week. This is a head turner. This is one where you're like, wait a sec. What? What? Most people are used to the 40-hour work week. So when Tim Ferriss did the 4-hour work week, it turned people's heads and they were like, wait a sec. I need to learn more about this. Atomic Habits. Okay. This is also big habits, but it's also small like an atom. So this was a great title for James Clear's book because there were multiple meanings. Banking on Angels. This is a book that we helped create. And Banking on Angels. This was written by a former investment banker, but it also, Banking on Angels, it works for the title because of what the book's about. So Banking on Angels. This is a really, really great title. And then Limitless Real Estate Strategies. That is both a very clear and direct title and also tied into the brand of the author who worked on this book. Okay. And it's a phrase. He even has it tattooed on himself, limitless. So Limitless Real Estate Strategies, very clear, very direct. You know exactly what the book's going to be about. So that's the title component of this, all right? And when you dig into this, you're going to be able to start figuring out what should your title be. And if you combine these questions with some of these examples, you're going to be able to start to formulate some various different ideas. And before we move on to the subtitle, I'll share this with you. When you're doing your title and you're figuring it all out, try a bunch of ideas. Write down 10 to 15. Write down 15 variations of those 15, okay? And then ask for some opinions, okay? Now, here's the caveat. Not every opinion is created equal, and it's important that you know that. Take the people who are potential readers' opinions as the most important opinions, okay? All right, let's move on to the subtitle. So now, in the subtitle, there is one goal when you create a subtitle, and that's this. Tell the reader exactly what the book's going to be about. Your title has a little more space. Your subtitle, it needs to tell the reader what they're going to do, especially for the nonfiction world. Now, they don't need to be fancy. They don't need to be creative. In my personal opinion, the best ones are most direct and informative. Now, sure, maybe there's a phrase, maybe there's a word that you use, but overall, the reader needs to be able to tell what the book is about based on the subtitle. And the key of the subtitle is to show the reader what the book is about and why they should read it. So let's talk about some of the key focuses of what you want to do here. When you're creating a subtitle, you want to use keywords. These keywords will be for back-end stuff, but they're also keywords that you want your reader to already know and to already be thinking about and already be saying in their mind. You want to niche down and be specific. You want to use words that your reader will connect with. Okay, if you're writing let's say a finance book, and your people are in the beginning stages of finance and you're talking about investing, well, you might not want to say how to make millions through ETFs because ETFs might be too niche specific. It might be not the language that your reader would say. But if it's how to make millions of dollars by investing in the stock market, well, I know I need to invest in the stock market, but I don't know how. Well, that might be something that you do. Now, again, if you're in the financial world, maybe you don't want to make financial claims like that, but you get my point, right? Speak in words that is easy for your reader to connect with based on where they're at. That's the critical component. Solve a problem, show a desire. This is really great. You can do it in sets of threes. You could do this and this, but you often want to either show what they're going to gain from reading this book, or you want to show what they're going to help reduce by reading this book, right? So how to avoid burnout. That is taking them away from a problem. How to achieve the life of your dreams. That's taking them towards their desire. Now, the more specific you can get to your ideal audience, the easier it is to get their attention and also not to be the same as every other book. Okay, now if the title is clever or catchy, the subtitle definitely needs to be clear. If your title is really, really clear, then your subtitle has a little bit more flexibility. That's just a general rule of thumb that we've created. So here are the questions, okay? Now, when you're trying to create the subtitle, ask yourself this: what are the 3 biggest challenges that someone faces before they pick up your book? Okay? What are 3 of the biggest outcomes someone wants to achieve by reading your book? This is going to help you start to identify what are the key things that you can use in your subtitle. One of my favorite questions that I like to ask our authors when we work with them in this process is, in one sentence, what is your book about? Because often that one sentence, when you can boil it down to one sentence, you're getting only the most important things. And those most important things can often be translated directly into a subtitle, right? And so when I think of big idea to bestseller, if you were to ask me to describe that one sentence, it is a step-by-step guide on how to write, publish, and launch a nonfiction book to grow your business and make an impact on the world. That's what the book is. So the subtitle is very, very similar to that, okay? What are 3 things that you want the reader to walk away with? This is another really great question to ask yourself, because that can lead them to getting intrigued and excited. And are you using words? We just talked about this. Are you using words that they'll relate to? Now, the last piece of this that I want you to really focus on is, I want you to, once you think you have an idea, is say the title and then followed by the subtitle 5 times. Because sometimes the title sounds really good and the subtitle sound really good, but when you put them together, it's way too long, or it's not long enough, or it just doesn't vibe the way you envisioned it. So do you love it? Does it feel good? And will your reader connect with it? That's a great, great, great thing to do to make sure that you have the right title-subtitle combo. Now, here are some of the subtitle formats that we're going to go over. There's the how-to, which is very straightforward, okay? How to write, publish, and launch a nonfiction book to grow your business and make an impact. That was the subtitle of Big Idea to Bestseller, right? I just said the one-sentence summary. Now I have it there. You could do a guide or the ultimate guide, okay? This allows people to know that it's very educational based. A real-world guide to standing out in the job market and discovering your passion. So this was the subtitle from my first book. Now, if you look at this, to standing out in the job market, and discovering your passion. These are 2 desired outcomes that somebody who is trying to figure out their career is going to be looking for. And when I wrote this book, these were the outcomes that I was trying to solve right before I wrote this book. How do I stand out in the job market? That's what I was thinking about. How do I stand out? How do I stand out? How do I differentiate myself? And then the other question that so many people in this market were looking for is, how do you discover your passion? Well, this book will tell you how to do that. Okay, the list of 3. This is where you highlight core desires or things you want to overcome, right? So a mom's guide, very specific, to saying goodbye to overwhelm, prioritizing yourself, and enjoying motherhood. Right? So think about those things. These are the challenges that a mom might face. These are the things that a mom might want to do more of. These are things that a mom might want to have. I want to enjoy motherhood. Yes, that's me. I want to enjoy motherhood, right? Start with numbers. Numbers could be good. 25 keys to building extraordinary relationships in life and business. People resonate. There was a study done. People resonate a ton when numbers are included. Now, numbers aren't always my favorite, and it depends on the different book and the different style, but numbers have been proven in article formats and YouTube videos and everything that when you include numbers, it can often get people to click and to read. And so for this case, we're trying to intrigue, we're trying to build, and this is how you'd pick your subtitle. So now you create the perfect subtitle. You create the perfect title. This is going to get your readers excited. And it's also going to get them primed to buy because they're going to know exactly what the book is about. They're going to get a sense of your personality. They're going to get a sense of what you're hoping to have them achieve through reading this book. So I hope that this was valuable for you. If you want to dig into this, I have an entire chapter on this topic in my book, Big Idea to Bestseller. And if you want to get a free copy, you just go to bigideatobestseller.com/free-book. You can get a free copy of Big Idea to Bestseller, and that's the step-by-step roadmap, okay? And there's a whole chapter related to this. And if you know you're in the process of your book, you want to get started and you want some help, well, I'd love to chat with you. Just go to bigideatobestseller.com/call, and you can book a call with our team to discuss your idea. On that call, we'll walk you through a big idea. We'll walk you through if it's validated. We'll walk you through what you want to achieve with the book. We'll create a roadmap for your book, and that's what we're going to do on that call. So that's bigideatobestseller.com/call. And that brings us to the end here. So if you are in the process of writing a book, use this video when you're trying to create your title and subtitle. If you haven't thought about writing a book yet, now this might be able to intrigue you because the right title might be right on your fingertips. Let's make some magic happen. Let's write a great book, and I'll talk to you soon.